Hi everybody, it's Krista, and I'm in my studio. So welcome to my studio. Tonight we're gonna look at the Brutfuner 50 Macaroon colors. So what that really means is we're looking at some of the first pastel pencils that were ever put out. I got this set right here off of Temu, and I got them for under $6. And I know, oops, my phone shut off. I know on Instagram, on Amazon, let's look them up and I'll tell you how much they are there. Brutfuner macaroon colored pencils. The 50 set is $14. Well, it's $15. So I've saved about half on them. They do now have a, oh no, that's not Brutfuner. There's a couple new people that are putting out pastels. I have not tried any of those. I probably won't buy them. If you know, I don't particularly, let's get this back to live. I don't, let's see, I'm behind on my own thing. There. No, live. Okay. I'm not a pencil girl very much. I may use them to decorate something, but I'm not gonna. So this is the only set I'll buy. But I was happy to have them, and I have other color. I have tons of colored pencils. When I taught art for 2 years, I taught colored pencils. I taught drawing basically, and pencils and how to draw. Where did that one go? I had it when I walked in here. Now I don't know what happened to it. I probably left it over there. So this is the packaging for Brutfuner. Pencils are perfect coloring solution, rich, vibrant pigments, perfectly balanced shades to provide superior blending. Whether beginning hobbyist or professional artist, these premium pencils are ideal for your creative work, from quick sketches to intricate details. That's what the box says. And I do like their box. It's beautiful. I won't keep it because I won't keep them in this. I will put them in a pencil case, which I bought some smaller pencil cases on Temu also that were like $3.97 and $4.97. And they hold 75 pencils or something. So I will put these in one of those. I've already swatched them. I bought a swatch card from Becky's DIY color charts on Etsy. There were two problems. One, the names had changed on the pencils on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, but I figured out where they went, of course, because the pencil coloring. And then she corrected the color names, because there was one that was like, what was it? It was something funny. I don't remember now, but oh, okay. Olive yellow was like eel yellow instead of olive yellow. And she put little things by them. Ice green was EEE green on the pencil. So these pencils are great. They list the color name, which I love. I wish all pencils would do that. Then they put the name the company, or the number the company uses. B for Brutfuner, 1225 is the cobalt green. And then on the other side, it has Brutfuner colored pencils, Brutfuner up here, just so in case you missed it down here, they tell you up here too. They are all enameled or lacquered or whatever they use, at the tops. And like this one, which one was this? Cobalt green. So cobalt green is right here. The pencils match the barrel color matches the pencil color fairly well. So that's nice. You don't always know that in pencils. So that's nice to know. They come in 2 trays of 25. And, and the macaroon set for Brutfuner, I think it was $1. Hey, Shelly. It was $1.20 to buy this, and I have access to it as much as I want. I will make another one, probably that I'll keep with my pencils. This one will go in my notebook that I put everything I have in, so that when I go shopping, I can grab it, and I don't buy duplicates, because that, I don't know if that happens to you guys. We are watching TV in bed, so hello to anyone who comes on. Thanks, Barbie. Shelly with Jots and Junk is here. And I just watched some of Shelly's, and I can't remember what she got, what I was watching. It must have been a haul. Was it a haul, Shelly, that I watched? I'm not sure. But I watched something, and I enjoyed it and subbed to her channel. Barbie, coffee with and jewelry with Barbie and Ken are usually on Tuesday nights. Although they may skip some over the summer because it's summertime. But they're a fun channel. They sell all types of jewelry, from the expensive to the not expensive to vintage and costume. So that's a great one to join if you have any interest in that. So here are my 50 pencils, and I can put us closer now because I'm not going to be needing that full. There we go. So one thing I don't like, colored pencils, well, any pencil, well, mostly colored, is that they emboss their names and stuff with gold. And yes, it's very pretty, or silver, but it is hard to read. The best way to read them is to cover up the light, and then you can see like mustard better. So that's a gripe I have with like every color. And maybe that's because I'm old now. I don't know. But I definitely think they could help us out some with that. Let me grab, I would show you the case I'm putting them in, except that I bought 2 of them. One of them's purple and one of them's black. So don't get all your pencil cases in black, because you won't know which ones are which unless you label them, but they're kind of hard to label and stay that way. The Jello Box Mini Journal. That's what I watched. I like watching your journal, how to make them. I love making them out of boxes. That's what I've done. So what I did before I came on, I'm going to have to readjust this there. Okay. So I did this. It's just a scribble page. Maybe I will have to back out to see the whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I am a mess tonight. I had to have cortisone shot in my knee, which I'm happy to have, and it will feel better. But the last time I had it, it lasted like 7 to 9 months before it started even hurting again. And I had fallen on ice and hurt it. And I have arthritis behind my kneecaps. So it's very hard to treat. There's not much I can do. But it had been bothering me, and I made the appointment. But I remember how much relief I felt last time. Well, that's because it was hurt, and then they did something to help relieve the pain. I didn't realize the actual pain that it caused. So, I mean, I may only be on an hour tonight. Usually I like to do longer, but that may not happen. So I am a mess. So this is just in my cheap sketchbook that I got for Mother's Day from my husband. It's a Hobby Lobby one. It's 8x8 and 70 pound. I hate the paper. I usually do watercolors or mixed media, so I use heavy paper most of the time. So this paper is very thin. But what I thought I'd do is I tried out two purples, a kind of an orange, like a coral color, and then a yellow, like a bright yellow. And I did some scribblies. And then on the next page, I did scribblies with my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand. And so then I went back in and made flowers and put a background in. But what I'm going to do on top of this, which I was excited to do, is I'm going to use some of my watercolors. This is my Sennelier watercolor set. And I think it's 2 or 3 sets, because I bought my first set of Sennelier actually came from Pottery Barn. who had a set of 6, I think, and it came with a brush, and I'd never had them, and they were on sale, so I got it for like $5 or $10. And so I was really excited with that. The only problem with that is that they fell out and I dumped them. So I haven't finished this card because I want to get them all in there. And I label all my pans so that if they dump, as long as the paint stays in, they're labeled. And Sennelier labels their pans. Oh, this is from the primary set. So this was one of the ones I got from Pottery Barn. So I haven't used Sennelier much. They are a French company and they use honey in their products. But you could see the ones that I bought that came in pans, they're nice and they don't stay wet. But the ones that I have that are in tubes that I've put in here, they stay a little damp. So, and that's because of the honey. And that's great. That's what we want most of the time. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to spray. These reactivate really well. It doesn't take much water and they do a great job. And I don't think I have a purple in here, so which means I have to mix it, which is fine. Purple's a convenience color most of the time. Yellow, I have this yellow right here. I usually mix my paints in my paint pan, so it doesn't bother me that there was green in there. You know, it's fairly resilient. So I can't show you. That's the problem. I have too much stuff on my desk. It's not. So what I'm going to do is use my watercolors now to go in and make this more of a piece that I can work with. I guess is the best way to put it. Because I have trouble, even though I taught drawing for 2 years and it had, I had all those kids. I am still more comfortable with a paintbrush, and that is my favorite thing to do. Sorry, my bracelets are hitting the pan. So what I'm doing is just dropping in some crazy colors. Ice and ibuprofen. I wish I could take ibuprofen, but I had gastric bypass surgery in January, at the end of January, and I've lost 70 pounds. I'm almost at 75. But I can't take, no, they're not water reactive. They're going to stay exactly as they are. So I can't take any NSAIDs, which ibuprofen is an NSAID, unfortunately, because I was on Celebrex, which is, oh, there, I made a purple. It is not going to be as light as the purple we see in here, but I did tint it towards blue because this is more of a periwinkle. I love water reactive pencils, and I have a bunch. Some of them I got from Temu, and I hauled those, I think, last week or the week before. Yeah, it's labeled, and it's in my hauls video. But these I just did to give me a base to kind of play, because this paper isn't going to take much water. It's already buckling, and it's not going to be friendly with me. I also like the way paint actually fills in spaces and doesn't leave it. What I noticed with the Brutfuner macaroons is that as typical, and they're wax, so the oil is acting as a resist to my watercolor, so it'll be interesting to see how this actually turns out. Let's see, I want this orangey yellow, so I got a darker yellow, and we'll add a little bit of red in here. Oh, I think I got it. And so that's going to go in there. So what a resist is, it just means that place isn't going to hold whatever you put in there, water, anything paint wise. I could use that. I haven't ever bought that. I live in Colorado, so you would think I would be intimate with that cream. They lit the Nuggets just won the NBA final, and our neighbors are shooting off fireworks. We have neighbors that shoot off fireworks for everything. I mean, if you breathe right, they're shooting fireworks off. So I am not, my dogs, I have a Dachshund and a German Shepherd mix. My German Shepherd mix is the one that is a scaredy cat, and my Dachshund is the one that barks. So I don't mind letting them out and letting them bark, except it is a weeknight. And I don't want all my neighbors to hate me, just the ones that continually shoot off fireworks. Hi, Vanessa. I see you now. Just now. How are you, dear? Glad to have you. I'm trying out some new colored pencils. So these are pastel colored pencils. They are Macaroon by Brutfuner, and I got them off Temu. Originally on Amazon they were $25, but they've gone down to $15, and I paid $4.95, $5 for them. So I was just playing with them. This will become collage fodder for me if I tear it out, or I might scan it in and then do something with it for my journals or whatever. Oh, really? Well, I know people who would never use that. I mean, come on, it's a drug. So I just wanted to play with this and see how it went. Colorado hasn't had a ban on that substance for so long. I don't even know what it's like. When we were hiring people, when I was at the assisted at outpatient services and stuff, we had to always let them know that they needed to test clean. So they needed to make sure that they, hadn't had any substance. But there are so many kits on how to fake a urinalysis with THC in your body that I don't know if that really even happens. So you'd get the good stuff then. Yeah, I could. I have a friend that I've had since we moved here in '99 from Kansas, and I've known Rolene probably since 2002. And she makes candy. She makes goodies to eat at night, cookies or muffins or something to help her sleep. And it does help her. So this is pretty wet. I'm going to hold it aside and let it dry while that's doing that. And then I'm going to, let's see, is this one smaller? Yes, you are. This is studio paper from Fabriano. It's a 90-pound paper. So this is like what you would use in high schools. This is the kind of paper that I painted on when I was in high school. And this is the paper. 90 to 120 is usually student grade. So I'm going to fold it in half, even though I'm not going to rip it. And it's cold press, which means that it does have a texture on it. Oh, I was so excited. Saturday is half price at ARC, which is a thrift store here in Colorado. I don't know if they're at other places. And I found a Martha Stewart scoreboard with the envelope, how to make envelope things on it for $2.99. I was so excited because yes, I did buy it. It wasn't half price, of course. It was the orange. So I'm just dropping in some water. You could see it wet on there. And there's a little tint to my water. That's okay. Because I only wanted to limp in here once. I only have one thing of water. Now, I'm going to use this beautiful turquoise that Sennelier has right there in between the red and the yellow. Obviously, I haven't put it back in order. And it's wet. So I'm going to drop it in and watch what it does. I should have taped this down, but I want to see what it does on in the water. Oopsie, I got some yellow in there, so it might turn green. Yep. And that's one of the things I love about watercolor is that it is unpredictable. And depending on your papers and how much water you have on them. Oh, that kind of looks like a bunny rabbit right there. I had no intention of making that because if I tried to make one, it wouldn't happen. So I've got some of this in and I'm just going to scribble my brush off a little bit. And these, when I make these abstract paintings, they're not really paintings. They're just abstract play with new stuff usually. I'm not concerned so much. I don't worry. I think that they'll probably be fodder for my journals and my collages. Well, collages are what I make in my journal. So that's what it would be for. So I'm not so concerned about, oh, it's, you know, I just want the colors to look good together because I'm going to go back with metallic ink probably. That's what I like to go back with. And add. Okay, now I'm really wet, so I'm going to. And watercolor, see how bright it is now? It will dry darker. You can kind of see out here where it's starting to dry. I have a fan on me because I get hot in my studio. And because my German Shepherd doesn't really like the fan, so that he'll stay out. So I am putting little lines in with my brush. So you will see those once it dries. But I like, it's called Bloom. And that's when the watercolor, you know, it has a place in the middle and it spreads out from there. And when you're painting, you're not traditionally not supposed to like watercolor blooms. I like them. I use them as part of my paintings when I paint. I use it to my advantage because I think that's what you should do when you have art supplies. You find out how they work by playing around and not expecting to make a masterpiece. And then once you're done playing around, you remember, oh yeah, that turquoise really blooms well with water, or it doesn't spread well, or whatever, you know, however you want to look at it. And then, you know, when you want that effect, you can go back and get it. Now I'm seeing my brush is pretty wet and I've got some really good. So every watercolorist, I think, has to add, I call them sparkles, but they're splatters. I think one of the kids in one of my classes called them splat. She wanted the sparkle and she meant the splattering. And so you do that and it adds random. And then this is very wet. You could see the puddles on it. So I'm going to take, now, if you want a pattern, you have to be careful when you do this because whatever pattern is on your kitchen towel, paper towel. I've been watching too many British people say what do they call it? I can't remember, a handy wipe or something. You might get a pattern if you're not careful. So I don't really care about the pattern. It's not going to hurt me one way or another because this is just for fun. This is more color play. So that will dry fairly quick. If you don't want to worry about patterns, just buy a shop towel. The blue shop towels that your husband might have out in his garage. Mine does. I just steal them from him. Hopefully he didn't hear me say that. I just take them and he doesn't even notice because he buys a huge bulk thing. So as this one dries, we'll go to the other side. And I do work on multiple watercolors at the same time because they do have to dry. And if I work on several when I'm just having fun, I tend to at least have something that'll turn out in my dreams. So that one was blue and turquoise, which green is one of my favorite colors. Let's see, what color is this? This is from the primary set. So this is going to be very blue. And I'm holding my grip way back at the back and twirling my suit thing. Remy, if you hear chewing or weird noise, it's my dachshund chewing on a bone. Sorry. Vanessa, are you still here? Did you stay? I hope you did. Yeah, this is a bright blue, but it turns down into a lovely color. Is this one? Let's see, before I tell you the wrong color. It's phthalo. It's phthalo blue, which in my blue colors, like if it's not turquoise, I love phthalo. And we're just going to add some of these. I'm using, yes, but my comments are getting deleted. Well, I don't understand. You know what? We can fix this. Let's see if this helps. Next time you comment, you should be blue. And that as a moderator, then they should not disappear. So Phthalo Blue, like I said, is one of my favorites. And I'm using my brush. This is a round brush. It's a number 12. I got it on Temu, the Sutang brush set, and I love it. They're a little light, but that's okay. But I'm using it as an advantage to my self to make these like mountains or trees, however you want to look at them. Now I can get a different shape brush and make different shapes if I wanted to. But you want to pick the brush right for the situation, just like the house painting. And then let's see. We shall add, how about alizarin crimson, which is used to be the pink color for and the red color for most watercolorists. But now we have more choices of pigments than they did 100 years ago. So now it looks like a crime scene. We'll fix that though. This is still damp, so my paint will spread gradually up there. And then I'll put some down in here. And this alizarin crimson is very warm. It is kind of what the color blood should be when it comes out of you, a deep red. So I'm going to go in here, and this one is, I think it's crimson. Hold on, let me see. See if I had my chart done. Oh, this is carmine. If I had my chart done, I wouldn't have to be flicking my paints around. Okay, I think I'm going to like carmine much better. So what I've done is I've dipped it. It's a clean brush. Now I'm going to go through and see how I pick up that color. Oops. So I pick up that color. Oh. So this came apart from this when I twisted it. So that's probably my fault. I was probably too hard on it. I can fix that with a pair of pliers, but I'm not going to right now. So I had to fix the other one with pliers too. Let's see. This big flat brush will work. This brush is more for acrylics, but it's what I have at hand. So acrylics, oftentimes you'll find paintbrushes that say acrylics, watercolor, tempera, or something like that. And that's true. Acrylics just you usually want to use a stiffer brush if you can on them. Oh, I know. That's okay. I think I paid $3 for the set of 12 on Temu. So, there's the color I wanted. So I'm okay that it broke. I can fix it. One thing I did love about those, last week was the first time I used them. They're lighter weight, and obviously they break fairly easy. You don't have to be as rough as I was with my paper towel, I guess. But they don't lose bristles. And I am willing to put up with one breaking for when I get 12 of them for $4. I'll put up with that over the paint bristles coming out in my painting, because that just annoys me to no end. And I am going to add a third color here. I'm not really sure. I'm just not liking, and it's going to turn colors. It's going to turn orange and green. Nothing a little glue. I know. That's what I say. See how, I don't know. Can you see that? See how it's running down in there? That's what the paint wants to do. And so I want it to do some of that. So I don't do abstracts like this real well. That's not I like florals and animals and scenery, but has it really? How weird. So this is a flat brush, which just means that there's no roundness to it and that you can get very nice straight little lines like this. When I look for brushes to work with, like especially in watercolor, I want them to have a very good middle here. This is where the water and the paint gets held. I want it to hold maximum amount of water without dripping, and then being able to add my paint to it, whatever color, like the yellow, and then be able to use it for quite a few strokes. Now, there are other people who prefer different things out of their brushes, and I like having lots of water in my brush. I don't know why. That's just always kind of been the way. If I put down color. And also, usually watercolors start from the lightest color, and on here that would have been the yellow. Then go to the next lightest, which would be the blue, and then the red on top, because watercolor doesn't cover up. See, it's translucent. There are some that are more opaque, but it never totally covers. Ooh, the paint's pushing the other paint away. I like that. And so these are just used for studies. I may cut them up to be ATC cards, which are artist trading cards. And they're a standard 2.5 to 3 inch, 3.5 by 2.5. Oh, here I have some. Oh, no. Yeah, I do. So they're this size, and you trade them. You put all your information on the back. And that was one I worked on a couple weeks ago. Or you can make a bookmark out of them, or a journal card. And this one's probably pretty close to done. Or you can make tags out of them. And I am in a tag swap this month. It's on PM Artist Studios Facebook page, which is Mixed Media. No. Yeah. Creative Mixed Media Art and Artist Group, I think is what it's called. It's by PM's Artist Studio, and they make stencils, really nice stencils, and they make a mask, which a stencil can be either, really. So let me show you this cool shape I'm getting out of this. The brush has dried, and I'm picking up pretty dry paint, and it's separated, and that's making a cool mark. So when I cut these up, they're just going to be, this size. So it's just going to be that part, and I'll just have that part, or whatever. But anyway, I'm making tags. I'm in a tag swap this month with PM Artist Studio, and so they have to be at least 5 inches tall and 3 inches wide. And so I will maybe use this for that tag. And their color challenge, they do a color challenge every month, is cheddar and maybe Prussian blue. I'm not sure. And that's very cheddary and Prussian blue, so I could use it for that too. Clusters. Okay, so clusters are cool. I agree. And I got some yo-yos from Keisha's virtual market. I got yo-yos for clusters, or from, whatever. I'm new to journal making. Collaging, I'm not new to. I've been doing that. I'm 52. I've been collaging since I was probably 3 or 4. We all have. And I've done it. That's my favorite way to use stuff when I was in high school and grade school to get ideas. So back to the clusters. So I love the clusters these people are making. These women, wonderful. I don't know, maybe some guys carry the craft or makes them, I guess. And they're beautiful. I make them, and I guess my problem is I don't use the sewing machine. I have one, and I'm going to get it out and set it up upstairs in my wet studio. And then I'll have more access to it, which my husband will love. He bought it for me when we had my grandbaby's 10.5. So it's 10.5 years old, probably. Maybe 8.5. He bought it right around the time Harley was born, because I was making her stuff. But my clusters never turn out. They're very bleh. I don't know. I had a cluster partner this last month in the group, and I feel sorry for her, because her clusters, I don't think I have her card in here, because I'm filming something with hers, were beautiful. And I'm exchanging clusters. Oh, that's it. I'm exchanging clusters with Victoria, I think. Don't overthink them. That's what I've seen. Victoria O'Neill, I think is her name, is my cluster partner for Beth Schuler's group. She does lives on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, I think. And so she was the first person I ever did trades with. Pity the people who got my first trades. Well, I still kind of pity them because they're not getting, you awesome scrapbooker, journaler kinds of things. They're getting art things. And so it's kind of a different, voice. So I always kind of feel bad. So I try and bribe them with all the Happy Meal that goes in them. So I'm brightening up some of these because I don't like the blah-y colors. I'm not into dull colors. Oh, you just got it? I'm sorry, Cindy. Cindy loves jewelry and paper crafts, paper arts. She is awesome at clusters and all of that other stuff that we've been talking about. She does a auction on Mondays. 3 of the weeks she does 3 of the weeks she does her jewelry, and then the 4th week she does ephemera and crafty things and sells her journals and stuff. So she's a good one to subscribe if you're new. We have a couple new people here. Hey, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is also an artist. She sells jewelry and makes jewelry. She makes other stuff too. I've seen her craft room, but she is on several nights a week with Cindy Jewelry Nurse. And then I don't know what Roberta's channel is, but it's Roberta's something. But if you go to Elizabeth's channel, it will show up there too. And then Friday night, most the jewelry people in the world will be on doing a half hour on an auction. And I can't remember it, but I'll post it in the description. Or Elizabeth, you could post it too if you have the information. And it'll be fun because like everybody I know that sells jewelry is going to be there. Laura, Jewelry, etc. Kristen D is going to be there. Marzina, Elizabeth, Cindy Loves Jewelry. So that means Cindy and Ro will be there. Who am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting people. Thelma is going to be there. So it's going to have everybody. I was sick when they did that, or I would have signed up to put in my jewelry because I've just finished making a bunch of remade stuff. So this is, oh, I like it. I didn't do the top very well. I'll do some down here. Let's see. I need yellow. Lello is what my granddaughter used to call it many moons ago. So I don't want it to be too different. So I'll go in and make some green with that. Pull it down. Okay, that just looks terrible. We'll take that away. And then I got my yellow back. Ooh. Doesn't matter. I'm going to be scrubbing it anyway. But see how it ran down in there? That's the stuff that I like about watercolors. There we go. We'll just keep it yellow down here. Part 1 of the Jewelry-thon. Thank you. So you ladies can check them out too. And they're like me. They sell bead lots and jewelry lots. So for your journals to make your little tassels, of course, you can buy those. But on Thursdays, I do a virtual bead boutique, and I have tons of charms. So if you ever have a charm you're looking for, hit me up. I probably have it. This one is pretty dry. Whew. It's a little wet right up here. That's all right. We'll just take that. I am going to put my brush away. I'm going to pull out. Should we do gold? I have 3 different gold pens, I think. So whenever you buy gold pens, they're always going to be a different color. Just remember that. So if you want a certain color gold, you have to go back to that exact pen you were using because it's like black and reds. You may have swapped them. Okay. So this one, I don't think this is the one I want. This is Art American Crafts metallic marker. So I'm going to go in here, and I like circles. So I will do some circles. And you can also use stencils on this. I did bring in, I only have like 4 ink pads because I'm pretty pathetic, but I have to use a black one that does not run. So we use that one first. This is the one I think I really like. This is Metallic Crafting Work Pen. I think I got this off Temu, or else somebody gave it to me. And I don't know. This one is like true gold. See? Can you see the difference on here? Yes, you can. Not really. But there's a huge difference. It's like real gold and metallic-y. That's kind of duller. So, and sometimes you have to go over your things a couple times to make them look the way you want. So I'm going to go out here, and I'm kind of getting into the white spaces a little so that it brings it all together. And I kind of like that 4. Usually you do things in 3s, but oops, my paint popped out. But sometimes an even number works because like these 2 are so close to each other. So I got that, and I want to do a different shape down here. What is that? I don't know. I don't know. Let's try a different gold because I have 3 of them. I think this one is Doodler by Zebra. Oh, maybe this is a black pen. Shall we check before I just put it on a piece of art? Let's see. Nope, it's gold. Okay. Zebra pens were my favorite when I was working as a social worker for many years. So this is going to make a really thin line. So these circles are going to be very different. And maybe I'll put double circles from these, because obviously it's a thinner line. It's not a brush. It's not like a felt brush. It's an actual pen tip. So you can use that to your advantage when you have stuff like that. And I made that one oval. So I'm going to add that. And let's see. I know there's a girl. Oh, I can't think of her name. It's Little Owl Studio, maybe. Lisa is her first name. She does these because playing with your supplies like this, watercolors and artists have been doing for hundreds of years. It's not new to anyone that's alive now anyway. And so she does these. She's awesome. I don't create these so well. I have fun doing them, and I will always do them and have them for collage fodder and such. But I am nothing compared to her, and I will post her links in my description box afterwards too. So those are like the hashtag sign, only a little bit different. So I thought that would be fun. That looks kind of like a stencil you might get. Bye, Shelly. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I just found her channel the other day, and I was so excited. I love having new creators to meet and find things from. Oops, I got to do one more because this is going to be funky. There we go. Oh, you were getting ready for bed. That's your excuse? I don't know. I guess we'll accept it, Cindy. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys heard. I got a cortisone shot today in my knee, and it's not making me very happy. So I'm only going to, well, I don't know how long I've been on. 45 minutes, yeah. My knee's bent under, I'm sitting cross-legged. And I haven't sat cross-legged this long, or I haven't had my knee bent this long since I got the shot this morning. And you're supposed to take it easy on your self after you get a cortisone shot in your knee, especially. I don't know about anywhere else. Well, I do know about the toe and ankles there too. But your joints always moving, and they want it to stay in that sack and be protective. So for better outcome, the longer if you can be good on it. That's what my husband said. It will last longer. And it did. The last one did. So, and I can't really take NSAID. Well, I can't take NSAID, so I can't reduce the swelling anyway, but ice, like I believe Shelly said. I already mailed mine out. Mine went out last week. Thursday or Friday. So mine are done. I try and get that stuff done right away because otherwise I'll forget, like you just said. So I don't know what else to do on this. So that's what it's looking like. It's not as cool as other people's. I don't know. Maybe that's just because we don't like our own stuff so well. So you know what? I don't really like this little thing of scribblies up here. You always know when a pen's cheap because it doesn't hold the cap on, which is totally annoying to me. I'm going to turn these into big blobs. And that might be bad, but I didn't like the way these turned out. So we'll just pretend like they weren't ever there. That's the one thing in art you can, especially like art like this, where you're not making something specific, you can always cover it, rip it, cut it, put something else on it, a different color, change it. You just have to be creative and use your little noggin and create something that you like. And so I'm just putting these so that when you look at it, no matter how you look at it, you flow through the system here. The little whatever it is. And see that needs maybe not quite so big. Like that. I showed a magazine journal tonight where I'm doing a 2-page doodle spread. Oh, really? I was asleep. I had you punched up, but it never came to fruition. I will check that out. I will watch that tonight, probably after I'm done here. So some of these lines, they don't all have to be the same. So I'm going to go in here and change a couple up. I like the way that looks much better. I think it looks more polished or something. And have it go to there. And then here, oh, I brought a white pen in too, I think. Or did I brought silver in too. My favorite ones to use, I mean, I love the gold because it shows through almost anything, but I love copper. Copper is my favorite to use on stuff. And when I'm creating in metal, I like to use copper with brass, which would be the gold, and silver, which would be the silver. So that's what I like to do. Okay, we're going to bring this one down here, and we're going to put this one right there. So it is looking better. It's not too like optimum, but I have to think about it. So now we can go back to this hideous one. See, this paper's still not dry, but that's okay. This was one with the Brutfuner. I showed the Brutfuners earlier, Cindy, and I was just playing and I wanted to. So I'm going to put a line and then I'm going to put dots. I love polka dots. So dots are always in almost everything I do. If it's, not a specific watercolor, like a portrait or something. Then, and I do like them. I'm not a colored pencil person. So, I won't buy any more. I looked it up and I saved, I paid $5 for them. And then they are $15 on Amazon. So I did pretty good. But I noticed there's some other companies that have made some pastels, and they may be just as good. I don't know. I really like the Brutfuner brand. Okay, so I did that and that. So I don't want it to look like I am just doing an order or something. Oh yeah, I've watched Cece since she had like 100 people. She's in Canada and she does really, actually, it was really funny because the flowers she does, well, now she does. I don't know. She's kind of changed her style. It's evolved. It's not that it's changed. It just evolves. All of us do. But I can show you. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. I could show you sketchbooks where I have the same flowers as she does. I don't use them the same way she does, but it's very funny. Oh, only using circles. I have a watercolor started that is all circles. And I think I'm going to go back into it with metallics or gel pens or something. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I love circles. Swirls are another one. I have a, oh, did I bring it in? No. I have a sketchbook that I started, and I'm putting different marks in them, you know, so I can try, so I could see things. Because whenever I'm working, I'll be like, I have no idea. What am I going to put here? You know, and I don't remember my doodles. So I have that book that I'm doing, and it has all those, and I'll probably put some of my doodle flowers in there. So I have 2 of these, 3 of these. I'm going to put another one of these up here, but it's going to be smaller. I'm going to put the first one around here. I like this square, you know, the 2-in-1 or more in them together. I like that look a lot. So that's a mark that I have to remember. It was a watercolor that she did. Yeah, she does. She does really nice watercolors. I have a print of hers, I think. Is it a print or an original? I don't know. I try and get, you know, from people I know and watch online. I try and buy their things. I have from PM Artist Studio, I have a print, or I have an original from Patricia. I was looking for it as I'm sitting here because I thought I brought it in here. It's really pretty. It's purple. And my alma maters, high school and college, were both purple. So, and the Colorado Rockies are purple. So purple goes fairly well in my life. And in my art room. So I'm going to hang that one up, but it has butterflies from her stencils, and she did it all on the jelly plate. I'm going to put this one away and see, the problem with this, what's missing in this is, see how flat it looks? There isn't enough contrast. So I'm going to go in here. I kind of wanted a thinner one, but I don't have it. I'm going to go in here with some black and add some contrast. Oh, yeah, that sperm shape often occurs. I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'm going to go into these. The other person I know who really loves circles is Froyle, and her name's Froyle. She is also an artist. She uses jelly prints and everything. She's done everything with her jelly print, but she's known for her paintings. But she's done a stencil with PM Artist Studio too. I think it's it's the fake writing. So this contrast is helping add depth. So what I think I'm going to do is put some random dots in. I like dots, so that's okay. And remember, this isn't going to be, I doubt that this is I wouldn't frame this. Even if it turned out beautiful, it would just stay in here. because that's what I do. Sometimes I write words on them. There are a lot of artists that do that. I was doing something the other day, and I don't remember if I was online or what, and somebody called me out and was like, that's so-and-so's. You can't do that. I will just tell you that there is nothing on this earth that hasn't been painted or tried or fiddled with by an artist, one way or another. And that is the belief of art historians, of most creators. I mean, it just is. Art isn't new. It's always a revamp of something. In fact, there's this good book that's called Artists Don't Just Make, They Steal Their Paintings. There's something about stealing your painting. I have it. It's around here somewhere too. And that's what it talks about. Oh, it's steal like an artist. Because that's what artists do. You go in, you look. I look at some things Cindy does, and I'm like, oh, I should try that. But I do it my way, even though it's something that I saw Cindy do. Or Elizabeth told me she always adds red when she doesn't know what to add when she's beading and making jewelry. I've started doing that. I add a lot more red. I have red all the time, and red is one of my favorite colors, like in clothing and stuff. So I listen to her. Like you should. When people talk, you should listen. You don't have to always take it to heart, but that was something that stuck in my head, and I did take to heart. So I will. Oh, I don't want it down there. I did that one. I'm gonna have to do this one up here. So I'll take that to heart. I add dots to almost everything to keep the dimension moving. So that's something I do. There's a lot of artists like CC that always add gold. I don't always add metallics, especially to my watercolor things. No, I add metallics to just about everything else. And I outline. I'm a huge outliner. Oh. Oh. Well, I'm glad she has something good to look forward to. Lymphoma, I know several people that have had that, so hopefully she will beat it. I know she's always been very, very healthy, so I keep her in my prayers. She's on my prayer list. That's the journal I'm making, is a prayer request journal, because I think everyone on YouTube has something going on, and I don't mind praying for you, but often I don't remember specifically. And so I'll just say, and God, please be with all the people on YouTube that are my friends and their families that are having problems. I can't remember the specific one, but if you just keep them in your heart and take care of them for me, I'd appreciate it. So I do that. That's how I usually end one, because I don't remember them all. And I have them written down in different places. So here's a silver doodler. Now, this is like the gold one. These came in a pack from Dollar Tree, probably. So they were $1.25. And then this metallic craftwork pen is going to be like the gold I used on here. And maybe we should add some silver. Let's do, I have an idea. So I like the intertwining shapes. I love that. And I'm going to put a silver in between each of the gold dots that I did over here. Now, silver doesn't show up as well on some things, but that's okay. I'm a silver girl, so I do always include it. So these dots are each going to get one. So I have put gold and then black, and now I'm putting silver in between them. All of this is to add depth and contrast. And you need both of those things in your art, whatever type of art you're doing, whether it's journaling, collages, paintings, drawings. You need those kind of things to make a complete piece of work. There has to be something. Plus, if you're doing like journaling or whatever, and you make sure you have lots of layers and depth, because that's what it is. It's just layers that add depth. People love it because they open them. Oh, well, you better go to bed. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you around, and I'll check out and see if you have any new videos up. But by adding all of that, it gives them, the person who's looking at it, it gives them something new to see. And they get, like, it draws them in. And that's what you want, no matter what kind of maker you are. You want them drawn in. Oh, I'm glad he liked it. I'm hoping it'll be cool. I like the color combination. It's not my normal color palette at all, but it's bright, so I like that. And then it's different, so I like that. There'll be things I take away from this that I didn't even think I would. So I outline lots of things too, but I go around, like journal people and card makers, they do that with like a stamp pad. I always outline in black, so I'm trying to mix that up with different colors as I have outstretched and gone back to more of my collage stuff. So that's fun. Elizabeth, remember, while you're taking care of your mom, to take care of yourself too, okay, honey? The caretakers have to get time for themselves and stay healthy too, or else you won't be any help. You don't want to be falling sickly. So remember that and give yourself some grace and some time. That was one thing when I worked with hospice that you had to remind all of them of. You're not always going to be able to be there. You need to take time for yourself too, and you have to stay healthy to be there for them. And that keeps you from, I may do it this direction because I kind of think that's cool. I don't know. It's getting there. That's why also I don't ever, I may not complete something. And then one day I'll think of, oh my gosh, you know what? If I went back and did this to that, it would look really cool. So my boxes aren't straight. When you're drawing a straight line, it's easiest to pull back towards your body because your hand and stuff does not have to move then. So this one I'm going to make solid because I messed it up and now I have to fix that. In my mind, I have to. So I made this one all solid. You could still see through it. And I might make a gold one solid over here. This one I kind of messed up too. If you use stencils, these would all be the same size, and then you probably wouldn't have a mess up. Or you could use a ruler when you're doing them or tape them off. There's different ways to think of that. Bear, be nice. So this one, I think I'm going to do something unexpected. And I'm going to go in here. This is the right one, yeah. I'm going to straighten out this line, and then I'm going to make the gold solid. So that will be, adding solid things gives your eye a place to stop. Your brain naturally looks for places to stop and is drawn to them, especially in a busy painting like an abstract. But it also can add depth. And like this one, I'll have to go back over because metallic paints will wipe themselves off. No. I hit my paints. Stay up there. Metallic paints will wipe themselves off, so you let them dry and then go back over them. And I think all the ones I'm using today are water-based ones. So that's okay. It's actually kind of turning out. You got to have faith in the process. I don't kind of like this right here, but I like the rest of it. So it's kind of a swirl. So maybe that means I should add some swirls in. I'm not sure. Yes, you did. You've been doing a lot of gluing. You know what? Ripping paper has been found therapeutic. As an art therapist, I will tell you this. They did a study, and ripping paper when you're angry actually lowers your blood pressure and makes you feel like you've gotten your anger out on something. So that may be something to do too, Elizabeth. Yeah, Cindy, are you ready for is it Thursday? Is that what you said? Are you ready? So I had an idea. So I started out with these Brutfuner pastels, and I remember that this yellow, or the darker yellow, was Goldfinch. That's blazing yellow. That's not the right one. Oh no. Yeah, it's this one. I don't have a pencil sharpener down here. Maybe I could get a little bit. But what I was thinking is using it to make some of the swirls. I got a little bit left. And you can't even see it. Okay, that's a bust. So we'll try this purple, which is smalt blue. Smalt blue is a specific color that they use in watercolors and stuff. So there, it showed up down here. I like that. So up here where I wasn't liking the yellow so much, but I like the shape that was happening, I'm going to go in here. I have always used spirals in all my art since I was very young. So, and there are different theories about what all of that means. I think if I put it here, you're not going to see it, but maybe right up here. Oh, okay. I would like to put it right up here because you could see it, but then these two are directly across, and that's not quite so. I didn't make this one quite big enough. There. Oh. Oh, yeah. I'm hoping the ablation works really, because I know it can work wonders for people. So I'm hoping it does. That's cool that she had an ablation and it worked. 8 years is a long time. So when you have something like this, I moved it up higher to stop it because that brings your eye back across. If I move it more, it will really pull you in there. So it'll really pull you in. And I kind of like that it almost closed the circle off. So I think I'm going to do that with all of them. Not close it, but get close. There. Because I like that. That was a happy accident. So I like that. There. So that added another layer. Oh, Doug will be on Thursday or Friday or Saturday too. Everyone is on there. I think Cindy and I are the only two that didn't try to get on there. Is this the smalt blue? Yeah. So I do like that these colors match pretty well with what is on their barrels. That's really a nice thing. So I'm kind of done with this. I kind of actually am digging it. It needs something else. I don't know if it needs, I'm not sure what it needs. It may need some white, and I don't have my white pen here, but the white may be what it needs, because these places where there's more white, I like. So I may go back in with a white pen and do some more doodling. If I do that, of course, I'll show you next week, or maybe I'll do a flip through of my stuff. And this is just this right here. The only thing that's going to help this is some black ink. And I will do that. Let's see. That's all that's in there. So this one, I might add black to, well, I don't know. Black, something dark. I have a navy blue marker. Maybe that will be it, but it needs a dark, because these two tones or hues or the saturation of the color are on the same plane. And then the gold is a nice additive, but there needs, and the white works really well in their spaces, but it needs a dark contrast. So, and I really like it. Was it this way that I liked it? Nope. I kind of dig it that way. I maybe if I do decide to frame it or mat it, I'll do it that way, or it'll go this way. But that's what that needs. This will make great collage fodder. And I might go in there with this and like, maybe more of my squares like that. And here's another blue square down here. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, every procedure, if you weren't getting anxious about it, I'd be a little worried about you. Wait, that's normal, huh? Did they give you anything to take for your anxiety? I hope they did. If they didn't, you can call and talk to them and let them know that you're having a lot of anxiety for it, because they don't want you to have a lot of anxiety for it. So I put in some squares. I like that. I actually kind of like where the square is taking me. They're all different sizes. And it definitely needs some more marks on it. And I'm kind of thinking of some polka dots. So this area right up here is calling for something. And I may need to get my stencils out and do it, because that's one thing I like about paint is it's more dimensional. It's not just a line. But I need something right up here. Oops, my Sharpie's running out. And I'm not counting them or any of that. I'm just kind of making a nebulous shape with it. And I think maybe that it does need that. This is a watercolor bloom. That's what that's called. And I like that. And so maybe to accent that or have your eyes down in this corner, I will put some dots around it. Not like outlining it or anything, just have some dots. So that when your eyes down here, you see that. And I kind of led you into it by the shape of my dots. And that's another thing you could do. You can do your dots and shapes. This right here, I love like where it's skipped right here and there's little white spots there. And I love this. I don't like that right there. So to take away from that, I'm going to put some more dots down below it so that it kind of fades into the background a little bit more is my hope. And I might put some white on it to do that. So just adding those dots actually did help. So it was black that this needed, or something very dark. And I really like these squares. I think I'm going to add more. That's something new for me. I have a watercolor. It's stripes and squares. And I've been working on it on and off for a long time, let's just say. And I may need to go back to it since the squares are kind of working for me right now. Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, but there's that one. That's what I mean is I'm like, what should I do? So I'm going to put this here and bring it up. Hidden crooked lines, of course. There. And I'm going to make some really heavy stripes through it because I messed up. So instead of making it solid, I'll make it look like that. And that looks like it. That makes it look like my error was intentional. And I think I'm going to straighten this out since I'm doing that. So that's another thing is if you make a mistake, no one knows what you had envisioned unless you tell them. So you can go through and fix your mistakes and change it to however you wanted it. Because yes, it may not be what you had planned originally. It may be better. You never know what it's going to be like. And this right here, I wiped it out a little bit because I didn't like the blue and the yellow I was putting down. So this one I'm going to do, and because this one has that on it, I'm going to make this one thicker down here, which is fine. I don't have to do that on all of them, but I want to repeat it, because if it's a repeat, then it looks like it was meant to be there the whole time. So, and see how that made that part look a lot better, not so muddy. And I think I'm going to add some gold dots in amongst my things. It's hard to show the metallics, you know, they just don't show up as pretty on TV or on YouTube. I watched some of the playoff, the NBA playoffs, because Denver was in it, and it was sponsored by YouTube TV. So now I'm calling it TV every time. I'm like, I'm going on TV. My husband's like, oh, you are, really? Where's that going to be? I'm like, you know what I mean. I think this is kind of a white space, but I want to keep it as part of mine. Oops, I think it needs one in there. So I think the black is definitely heaven. Oh, that's okay, Cindy. You need your sleep. Oh, I just had an idea. Okay, because it really does need more black, because that's what's adding the depth. And it just came to me. This may be a bad decision or maybe a good decision. Who knows? It would be a really good decision to get a Sharpie that works. You tend to hold your Sharpie or any pen the same way. And after a while, you know, one side will wear down. So you'll have to turn it around. So, and I tend to, what's my husband call it? Write hard. So it looks like I've embossed the paper because I push hard on my things. So markers especially will, okay. So this one's crooked. Oh, it doesn't hold the cap. I forget. This one's crooked. I don't know. They call that like a parallelogram or something. So what I'm going to do is make it straight, like I did at the others. I guess I'll go ahead and make this one 3. So I won't be using black with this one, but that makes me much happier. So I have those 3. So I'll need another plain square. And I want it up and down because these are all that way. So we definitely need it up and down. I think this is really going out on a limb because there's not, this is an open area totally. And I'm going to take it down. And out. And oops. I'll just make dots over here. There. I fixed it. If it's in a mat, I'll have to make sure that either I want to cover that with the mat and the picture flows into the mat, or I have to make sure the mat's cut close enough that it would do that. So those are some of the things I think about when I'm making stuff like this. I really want to put one of these up here. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to go into the black, over, and straight down. So this one's a tall, skinny one. Up there. Oh, that helped a lot. So I'm going to use my black Sharpie And I'm going to put a box in the middle here of the gold box. So that's what that looks like. Sorry, it was out of your picture. It's hard for me to write. This one, I think this one will need a box too. So that one will need a box too. But I've been working it so it kind of to me reads this way. So that's what it's going to do. It needs some black over here because this corner is very light. It's almost fading away. So I think what I'll do is go into here. It's like floating off my page. So adding some black helps ground that. See, it brings it in more like a triangle. So my knee is starting to hurt. So Cindy, my prayers are with you. I know everything's going to go fine because it's in God's hands and you'll be okay. And Elizabeth, you and your mom and all your family, of course, are in my prayers. And let us know what happens when she goes and gets her treatment plan kind of organized and stuff. But I'll keep y'all in my prayers. Thank you for coming tonight. And if you're watching this later and you have any questions about what I used or what I did or whatever, my email is right there on the screen, designsanddoovers@gmail.com. And you can email me or put a comment afterwards, which also helps. And then if you're not subscribed, hit that bell because then you can find me again. And I do this every Monday night and I just do other things. Whatever I have, I just play with and stuff. And then if I've done anything with what I did this week, I'll bring it back next week to show you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And, of course, have a great week. Oh. Good night.